All right, so this is definitely a different type of video. As you guys can see, I'm actually joined with my parents. I got my pops, my mom with me. They pulled up to the new crib, and to be honest, I just want to have a conversation with them. I feel like I've actually never actually sat down and got insight on what they thought the whole come up was like and what it looked like from their perspective and whatnot. And I know a lot of you guys, one of the biggest reasons why you do what you do is just to see, I want to say, the ripple effect of your hard work, the ripple effect of your discipline and the effort that you put in on a day-to-day basis. And you go hard for the people that you love and you care about. So I don't know, I thought it'd be sick to just get my parents on and just get their perspective on everything. So I prepared some questions that I'm gonna run them through. But you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
You're not gonna introduce us?
All right, so this is my pops. My dad's Jamaican, for those of you guys that don't know. When did you come to Canada?
That's irrelevant. I came like before I was one. So
Yeah.
I'm basically Canadian. I'm a yard man.
It's my mom. Her name is Crystal.
Hello.
But yeah, let's just jump right into it. I mean, I got a list of questions, as you guys know, but I don't know. I think it'd be cool to sort of get some insight on just like, I don't know, not even insight, but just so much perspective on what it looked like from your guys' end and me sort of just progressing to where I am now.
So you want to start? Or you want me to start?
You start.
So let's start from the beginning.
You want me to ask? Okay, you're just gonna, okay.
So I was always big on post-secondary education. Like I always wanted my kids to pursue some sort of college or university education, just to kind of put them in a better position to acquiring a well-paid career. Let's just say he came to us, and when it came time for him to go to post-secondary, and he was like, he wants to take a year off, take some time off. And I'm like, take time off for what? Like, yo, you might as well just go straight. No, you ain't taking no time off. It's not happening. Time passed, and he came to us again, but he came to us with a plan this time. And he was like, I know he was always doing like his YouTube thing, posting videos, workouts, and whatever else, right? But he came to us and he was like, you know what? I really want to pursue this fitness journey through social media. And I really wanted him to go to school, right? I wanted him to become a plastic surgeon, if I'm being honest. But, right? But, he came because he came to us with a plan, and, he kind of had things envisioned in his mind as what he wanted to do. He was just like, okay, just give him a year. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what? That's fair. We'll give you a year. And to my surprise, and I can't even say, what, I will say to my surprise, because I'm not really familiar with the social media and how it works. And, a lot of the stuff that I know now is because of him. But we really seen his whole life elevate through social media, and the work, his work ethic, and his consistency that he actually put into doing what you guys see him do now. It was just like his work ethic was just unmatched, and it was just unreal, the progress after the first year. So after the first year, I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool, you know what I mean? But hey, what about college? What about, he was just like, just give him one more year. And literally that last year, I've seen him elevate in so many ways that I was just like, okay, you know what? You shut me up. I got nothing to say. Right? So, and here he is today.
So for me, from my perspective, I've always kind of had an outlook of purpose is the number one thing. Like God put us here on this earth to fulfill a purpose. And so when your calling comes to you,
Here, Daddy,
And
might just
that's
give her the
the-
mic, maybe.
Oh.
that's what I believe is the thing that you should pursue. It's not about finances. It's not about like
Material things.
the conventional way of thinking. I think God speaks to us all differently. We're all here for different reasons and different purpose. I think being an inspiration to others and wanting to impact others is the most important thing. So for me, I didn't look at not wanting to go to school as a bad thing. I knew, like your whole life, that there's something very special about you, very different about you, and that you were unconventional, right? That there was likely, you're gonna carve your own path. So in a way, I was like, shoot, jump in the deep end. You told me you wanted to do, or you were gonna go work this job, because we did tell you had to go work. Like, you're not just gonna not go to school. You're gonna do something, right? So I know you worked a couple of jobs, they weren't fit. I was like, okay, no, it's sink or swim. So you want to do this social media thing. At first, I thought we were kind of going on the path of modeling or maybe like sponsorships or just like the traditional social media route. But you've always been into fitness. You've always been into sports. You've always had a ton of energy. So I knew there was, in some way, shape, or form, that was going to be like associated. And it just kind of evolved over the years. And then you brought your faith into it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, now I see it. Like, I see how God is using you. I see how he's going to use you to impact other people's lives for the better. And now you have like 100% my full, backing and support.
All right, so there you guys have it. Like, that's, I feel like oftentimes parents' perspective. You go to school, get education, and it's all because they love you at the end of the day. Like, I hear your guys' perspective, and especially you, Dad. It's like you guys grew up with not a lot of opportunity. If any, like, you know what I'm saying? You guys didn't grow up with the best opportunities, so I sort of got to the point where, I wasn't going against the grain out of resentment or anger, but it was more so just like I seen an opportunity, I just had to do it. But I understand your guys' outlook on go to school, get an education, get a job, because you guys set us up for that with that opportunity. You guys didn't have the choice to do that, and you guys had to work for it. So it was something that, like, I knew the stakes. Like, I wasn't just a kid that was like just didn't want to go to school. I understood the stakes, and I feel like that definitely had to do with the reason why I just went hard. But yeah, it's cool hearing you guys' side of things. But the first question I have is what kind of kid was I when I was growing up?
Spider-Man. That's whatever a spider can.
Like, this guy
A
would,
lot of energy.
like, you bouncing off walls, dude. Like,
Literally climbing everything.
Yeah, like, I'd come home from work, from being away all week, and I'd play with you until like I got tired, and you were always getting into something, man. I'm just like, man, it's just a lot of energy,
You just thought out of the box. I remember taking you to your cousin's birthday party, and you had to be like 4 years old, or maybe 3, and I'm like talking to a parent, and then something said, "Look over at the play escape." You're at the top of the slide with a bike, but you're coming down the slide. And I'm like, oh my God. Everybody's like staring. And you just kind of you did, like, you thought of something and you did it. Like, even when it's crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, it's funny because, you know, like I always looked at you, and I'm just like, sometimes I'd be disgusted just how much you're exactly like me, and I'm just like, yo, we can't have two of me.
I will say something though. Ever
We
since you
can't
were a
have two
little
of
boy,
me.
ever since you were a little boy, anything you wanted, and if you said it, it happened. And he would be like, you'd say some random thing like, oh, I want a PS something. And then we're like, you can't afford no PS. And then like you get it. Like it would just come like, oh look. So
Yeah.
just random stuff. Like everything you wanted in life, it just you say it and then you saw it. And some of it is like, yeah, we would make sure God would bless us and we'd be able to bless you. But some of it, he just bless you.
Yeah, I think that's just something that's just in the family.
Yeah, but I've really noticed it on you. Like it was weird since you were little. And I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was energetic.
Very energetic.
I was like impulsive and just do what I thought I wanted to do.
Yeah. And you fearless. I don't want to say impulsive. I think you were fearless. It's like if you thought of something, you wouldn't let the limitation of like you're like literally the possibilities are limitless. Like you're like limitless. You're thinking like I want to do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. Like and you went down that slide into the balls and you did not get hurt and you didn't hurt anybody. So like I mean, you know you were doing things that
Yeah, the unconventional things. Yeah.
But you did get in a lot of trouble. A lot.
Yeah, my next question is, did you think I was going to be successful?
100%. I knew you weren't gonna stop until you were, because you don't quit. If you wanted to do something, you did it and you did it well. Even if you played sports, you would like work to try to perfect what you're doing. Like always trying to, very disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Very disciplined.
I think a lot of that came through you being involved in sports, mainly hockey. So it's important for you to be in something, just to kind of like keep you out of trouble and just keep you focused on something, right? So I feel like a lot of your discipline came through that, and your determination as well came through, you know, you being involved in sports, right? Because you've always been in hockey and you've always wanted to get better. Mm-hmm. Whatever you decide you wanted to do, you were always working to get better no matter what. And you just wouldn't stop until you got better, you know, or you achieved what it was that you wanted to achieve, right?
I also believe you always had an entrepreneurial mindset though, because even when you were younger, well, mind you, you come from a family of entrepreneurs, right? Like your dad's an entrepreneur. But like you would be little, and if you had to go to work with dad, you would like draw, and you're artistic too. You draw things, and you'd be selling all your artwork to his clients, or something you made. You'd be like, "You want to buy this?" And like you come home with money, like, or you go to school in middle school, and you're like, "Man, we didn't have a lot of money, but let's say I gave you, $5 for lunch. You take your money, go to the store, buy some, and sell it to the kids in the school."
That's the shoppers.
And you go over there and bring it back to the school and then sell it. And then I'm like, how does kid got more money? But you were making money off of your money. You're like, no, we're gonna make this work. Yeah. So like you always found a way. You gonna get what you need. Like it's just natural. Like your brain always thought 5 steps ahead. Does that?
Well, the thing is, I feel like it's, as a parent, and I'm speaking to like the parents out there, kids don't really do what you tell them to do. They do what they see, and I feel like, him, at such a young age coming out with me to work, I feel like that was important for him to see, right? Because, like I'm in sales, right? And I've been hustling like as long as I could remember, so, did I have an expectation? Did I think he would be successful at anything he put his head to do? Absolutely, because it's what he saw. It's what he saw. All right, so
Definitely the work ethic you get like from daddy, and you have a lot of
Yeah.
the exposure to. We never separated you kids from business. It was like,
involved.
everyone was always involved. It's family.
Involved.
Yeah. What worried you about me the most?
You know,
Let me go first.
yeah, you can.
I mean, the only thing that really worried me, just in general, was that I, even though, you're mixed, like people are not gonna look at you like you're mixed, right? They're gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, "Yo, this is a black kid. This is a black man," and the things that I went through and had to go through as like a young black, not even just young, just me being black in general, and being, in business, the hurdles that I had to go over, and the doors that I had to go through. I just, I wanted to put you and set you up in a place, both your mother and I set you up in a place where, no matter what you came against, you were prepared for it. Whether it be through your work ethic or your attitude or the way you seen things, like I felt like it was important to set a foundation for you and your sisters. That you guys didn't have to go through the things that, we went through, and mainly the things I went through, being a person of color.
Yeah.
Right. So
I feel like a lot of things have changed. I feel like it's not even something that I think about, honestly, which is a really good thing nowadays. I feel like there's a lot of colored, successful people out there now, which is a great thing to hear. But yeah.
You know what, too? I think we tried our very best to kind of like raise you color blind in a sense. Like, I'm mixed race, so I just always seem like people. I don't see colors. I see people. And so I kind of look at it a little bit differently, and I think, but there are always limitations, For me, it's like, you're not too Asian enough for the Asians, you ain't white enough for the whites, you ain't black enough for the blacks, you're just kind of there. Yeah. So I feel like you kids, because you got to look very similar to mine, had a similar experience. It's like, you don't really fit anywhere, so you just be human. And you just kind of like, just be the best kind of person you can be. But I also, where was I going with that? I just kind of went off in a tangent. You could take that out. But I was going to say, I think with you, I didn't really start getting worried about you until you hit your teens.
Yeah, what was it?
And then it was like distractions. And
Like
then
what?
it was like dark spaces or like relationships that might not be healthy, or could be, mainly a distraction. For me, we're very strict parents. Like, we were young parents, but like, we're old school parents, and faith is everything, and doing things God's way was very important for me to teach you guys that. And like, there was a season of kind of like veering. And obviously everybody, like, you get the opportunity
But what was
to
it?
follow.
Like, you can get specific. What was it that caused me to veer? Like, where did you see?
Could be, I think like just choices, like partying, drinking, girls, they could all be distractions.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everything in this world is given to us to enjoy, or for like within discretion, certain things, but certain things taken out of the wrong context can be dangerous. They could actually lead to like literally changing the direction or the momentum of your life. And so for me, it was like keeping you focused on the goal, keeping you focused on getting you to where you're trying to be was really important. Keeping you in alignment with God's word, because I know, hey man, the world has a way of doing things, but God's way works every time. He doesn't miss, and there is a special anointing and blessing that comes with obedience. And so for me, it was really important that I poured into you, and I was very strict on saying, nah, this is where I'm drawing the line. I see you going in this direction. Nah, that ain't for you.
Yeah, you can
know?
get specific with what?
Relationships. And just like choices, you know, maybe wanting to go out, party, drink, underage drinking, like, you know what I mean? Like stuff that like everybody's saying this is cool, this is what you should be doing. Yeah. But nah, it's not what you should be doing. You should be working hard now. So later on, you have the freedom and the luxury of doing the things that you want to be doing, right? Within the right context too, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, a lot of people are in a position right now where
culture.
They might just be outside of, you know, college. Maybe they decided to stay home or whatever. Maybe they're at college right now, or maybe they're past that. Maybe they're 25, 26, 27, still caught up in, like, you know, parties and whatnot. Like, what does that do to, I want to say, accessing the blessing, you know?
For me, it's like a lot of the questions are, why are you doing what you're doing? You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that celebratory things are not, like, an occasional going out and having a good time, whatever isn't good, but like why, and then where is your limitation, right? Yeah. Because one thing just leads to the next, to the next, to the next. To me, like I said, my faith is paramount. Doing things God's way, no denying. That's the fastest route to accessing the blessing, right? So does it mean it's going to take sacrifice? 110%. Does it mean that, like, it's going to mean sometimes you're going to have to give some hard no's when you want to be saying yes? But again, like, I've seen how exponentially, like, fast your businesses grew. Your, like, just like things were just coming to you. That comes from a space of willing to say, okay, if you say no to this thing, then I'm gonna have to take that hard no. It doesn't mean it's not gonna hurt. I watched you walk through the hurt of having to leave relationships you wanted to be in, you know? And then it's like, oh man, what does that feel like? It's hard because it doesn't make sense to you naturally, but spiritually you just know, hey man, this isn't it for me right now. I need to focus on, you know what I mean? Yeah. My faith, myself. And I saw where you put yourself in position for God to just literally say, God, here's all of me. Show me what you put me here to do. And then he gave it to you step by step by step. And as you grow closer to him, he gave you more. And then the blessing just started flowing in, you know, favor in business, favor in just like relationships, brand deals, all the things, right? Even in your ability to access his wisdom, because like I do believe that our obedience, it's a streamline to hearing his voice clearly, right? The more we disobey and we step away, it's like it creates a distance. It's like in our relationship, if I'm not in good standing with you, or if we're not like corresponding daily, now you're guessing what's mom thinking. But like when we're really close in communication, you know exactly what I'm thinking. You know me well, you know me intimately, so you can be like, yeah, no, that's not my mom. That is my mom, you know? So I think just cultivating that gift that came with you dropping a lot of things that traditionally teenagers, kids in their early 20s, inclusive of myself, like you have to consciously be like, nah, I'm not doing that. You know, I would watch you literally, and I think the biggest thing is you work so hard. I think you get this work from your dad. Like you don't even sleep. You would like literally be up 4 a.m., start your day. You gotta go to the gym. You gotta this. You gotta that. And then you're working till like 3:30, and then you get up and do it again. You know what I mean? There's no shut off, and like it's physically exerting your body. It's creatively exerting yourself. It's like all the things. So yes, on the flip side of first, I was worried about the distractions. You eliminate all the distractions. You're going so hard. It's like, you know, you're still not. There's no like
shut off.
There's no shut off, and then I'm like, oh man, I don't want you to get exhausted or overwork yourself, right? But then now I feel like the older you get more of a balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think that just comes from actually just doing what you want in life. You know, because when you find your purpose and you're actually doing what you love, like it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And consciously setting boundaries too, like you setting your Sabbath day and being like, okay, cool. Now you spend time. You have time for the family. You make time for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For yourself. So.
What did you see me sacrifice that people don't know about? So you sort of touched on that a little bit.
Oh, I think you sacrifice a lot. You sacrificed a lot. I think the biggest sacrifice I've seen you do is your purity. Like, you legit were like, nah, anything that's going to defile me, anything that's going to separate me from God, I'm cut that cold turkey. If it means I ain't watching TV, if I ain't listening to this kind of music, I'm not doing that. Like, you went hardcore, like, nah, I'm going to take care of this vessel that God gave me, and I'm going to keep, my most important connection is this connection, right? And so, I think people don't understand the magnitude of that sacrifice. Because they think, oh man, that's easy, no drinking. I'm 22 years old. You don't drink. You know what I mean? I'm 22 years old. You don't have no girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, you're honestly waiting for your wife. And I think that not a lot of people can speak to that or attest to that or understand that that is a conscious, like, deliberate, like choice.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's always that opportunity to fall to temptations or to whatever, but it's like, nah, nothing is. You start to look at life from a different perspective, honoring women, honoring your temple, you know what I mean, honoring your business, honoring the position God gave you to speak life into other people's lives. I think you take that so seriously. I think that's so important to you, that you are deliberate with not crossing boundaries that God doesn't want you to cross, because you understand the weight and the magnitude of your position. And you would never want someone to look at you and be like, whoa, like,
Yeah. I feel like being in a position of leadership has definitely forced me to grow and stretch my faith, because at the end of the day, whether I think of it or not, even though the focus is always on me and my relationship with God, there is a ripple effect, And I always tell to the guys that are in Called Coaches that you have to do the work internally to see an external result. And what you do internally, whether it's good or negative, there will be a reflection, right? And as a leader, you cannot be convicted in your message if you don't practice what you preach, right? And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've been telling the guys, because they want to grow exponentially, but they're avoiding all of the scary places inside that they're not willing to go. Things that they're not willing to give up. And the reason they don't see progression within their business and within their relationships and within just everything at that is because they're not willing to let go.
You gotta make those sacrifices.
Exactly.
100%. That is the thing. That is 100% the thing that I think sets you apart. I watched you purge your life. I watched you be, the one thing I'll give you, you are very meek. You are very disciplined, and you're very much, if I correct you, you'll take it and you'll be like, okay, cool. What can I learn from this? Right? I think that approach to life just helps people get better. Like some people you gotta learn the hard way, Yeah. And some people you can just tell them, they're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go this direction, And so,
Right. I think important aspect of a young person's success is to really have people that you trust and that love you, and be open to taking advice from those people, whether it be your mom, your dad, your uncle, a mentor, you know what I mean? Because having somebody in your life that can tell you when you're wrong, right? And you could just have so much respect for that person that you could just look at it and you could be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, okay, I need to fix it. And I feel like those things and having those type of people in your life help you to keep you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Right? And the company you keep is very important. I mean, just, you literally had to separate yourself from, you know, a lot of your friends, a lot of your acquaintances, you know, and they were out drinking, partying, chasing girls, and doing the typical things that 22-year-olds do. You were doing that for a time, you know, in your earlier years, but then after it's just like, you know, like I seen a switch, you know, where those things are no longer important or of interest to you, right? Because you're focusing on the bigger picture, you know, and the bigger picture is the success of yourself and your business, and trying to elevate and, you know, yeah, walk in faith, you know, with what you believe in, and, you know, your walk with God, you know, like I believe, you know, you're successful today because of those things, you know, and you know, a lot more young people, you know, look at things, you know, the material things that, you know, you might have, you know, the condo, the cars, clothes, whatever else, and they want those things, but they're not willing to sacrifice, you know, and they're not willing to sacrifice. And it's important, if you want to live and be like, you know, not your regular 22-year-old, you literally have to
Move different.
move different. You know, you can't want the things and chase the things that a typical 22-year-old or 20-year-old would chase and want. You know, you literally have to carve out your own lane, you know, and, you know, a part of that is keeping God your number one,
100%.
you know, in your life and in your business, you know. So
Not to go back, but you just kind of like reminded me of something. I remember the most pivotal point. It was kind of the darkest point in your life. And again, it was kind of just the distractions. It's like, you know, you've got, okay, school's done, sports done, you know, and then it was like, okay, what next? Right? And then the distractions kind of come into play, because I think it was kind of like, and again, it's like, why are you doing what you're doing? You know, where like we look for distractions sometimes to get outside.
Well, what
of,
was the distractions?
well, you had a girlfriend, you, again, the partying, the friends, like just the influences. And I don't think everyone should speak into your life. Like you said, you're fortunate enough to have two faith-filled parents. You watched our journey. You watched us from nothing to something. So I think you had that confidence in saying, okay, well, God did it for you. He could do it for me too, right? And you had the exposure. But I do think, we've always told you too, it's like, sit at the tables you desire to be at. You know, surround yourself with those kind of people. You chew the hay, you spit the sticks. Not everything that somebody who's successful in the arenas that you want to get into, you should take everything they have to say as Bible. But, you know, I remember I said to, I confronted you, I said, listen, that ain't for you. Cut the distractions, give God 1 year. And you literally had to make a choice, right? And then one day you just woke up and you're like, nah, I'm going to do it, right? You had a conviction within yourself, and you got in your word, and you gave him all of you for 1 year. And I don't think you deliberately, like, had to, like, all of the things that you had to let go were hard. I think some of it might have been hard, but some of it might have been easy, because the more you get to know him, is the easier it falls off, right?
Yeah.
And so it kind of just, it switched your focus. And then you're like, well, here's the thing. If I give him all of me, then I should be able to get, like, there's no reason why he can't say I didn't do what I needed to do to get access to the blessing, right? And as you saw him kind of just like instantaneously, boom, bless you. You were getting, at the time you were getting like sponsorships coming in. You'd get like millions of views and stuff like that just on your aesthetic. And then it just kind of, like I said, rippled. It went to bigger, snowball went to bigger things, right?
Yeah.
And like the cars, like the home, like the trips, like just opportunities just kept flowing in, and you're like, wow, it really is true. When you're in that moment, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how is this thing bad for me? Like, I don't understand. I don't see it until you step away and you're like, well, okay, yeah, I was doing things that he told me not to do because it could open doors that I'm not supposed to be opening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What habit stood out before there was any money?
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
This guy would be in the gym. You wouldn't even have money for the gym. You have to walk to the gym sometimes. Sometimes you have to go pray in the car to get the car to take you to the other gym that you gotta go to. Sometimes you're eating cereal and that's it to fuel your body, but you're still like, nah, man, I got to do this, I got to do that, and you got like all this. You just made sure there was no excuses.
Yeah.
You just showed up for yourself every time, every day. Everything you had to do. You got up, you filmed. There's nobody behind you motivating you saying, hey man, did you work on your business today? Nah, it's like, yo, I gotta work on my business today. Mm-hmm. And at one point you were working in the factory. I don't know if you were working in other places too, but
Honda, Starbucks.
Yeah. And then I remember being like, yeah, first of all, you don't have no plan B. I remember having a conversation with you. You can't be out here having a plan B. Your plan B will always be your plan A. Mm-hmm. So if you're saying this thing is serious, you're about this kind of life, you want to be a social media influencer, and you're going to make this thing happen, sink or swim, jump in the deep end. And I remember you're like, oh, okay, I got to leave my job. Because you were exhausted. You'd have to go work an 8-hour shift or a 10-hour shift. And then you still have to go film, and you still have to go work out because you got to keep your physique at a certain level. Mm-hmm. So you were doing 2 full jobs and only getting paid for 1, right? So I want to say, like, I remember you dropping that job and then being like, I got to go full time, and you didn't let it make you, like, I don't know if I'm using the right word, falter. Like, you didn't stop. You just were like, nah. You made sure you carved out. You were doing all your editing. You were doing all your videos. You basically every man, like a 100-man business in one man. So
life of an entrepreneur.
Life of an entrepreneur, right? And it helped you to watch on, like, you know, your dad and the way that he runs his business, and even like me and my business. And so you're like, nah, man, that's how it's got to go. Like, if I want to eat, I got to work, you know?
Yeah.
And so I would say discipline was always a thing. Before God gave you the blessings, he had to make sure that you weren't going to.
You were ready for them.
You were, and that you be disciplined enough to stick with him and believe, have faith. Having faith is the substance of things that are hoped for, the evidence of things that are not seen. You're not seeing any of the results. Mm-hmm. And you're still putting in the work. You're not quitting just because last week you thought this is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some blessings take time. Some take a year. Some take 6 months. Some take whatever. But like, you weren't gonna quit on your plan A because there was no plan B. This thing's gonna work.
Yeah. Was there a moment where you felt proud before the results showed?
I think for me, I feel like for me, one of my proudest moments that I can remember is, you know, the car rides. Mm-hmm. The car rides where I'd be taking you somewhere, I don't know, maybe take you to the gym, wherever. We'd just be in a car, just me and you, and we would have conversations, and I'd basically like talk to you, like, you know what I mean, like one-on-one, mm-hmm. you know, father-son type conversations. And you know when I get inside those state of minds, I just be going off, and I just be talking about all sorts of things. And to see some of the things, you know, that I talk to you about in your personal life, to help you personally grow, would actually come out in some of the things that you say in some of your videos, mm-hmm. to encourage, you know, other people watching, or, you know, to influence other people's lives. So, you know, for me, that was a real proud moment, because a lot of times parents talk to their kids, you know, you think, you know, everything you're saying is going one ear and coming out the next, you know. So to see it come out, you know, the way it came out, you know, to your subscribers, viewers, whatever you call it, right? But yeah, I think for me that was a proud dad moment for me. Mm. It's like, okay,
he's hearing me.
Yeah.
For me,
listening.
It was kind of like when apprentice becomes the surpasses the sensei, because like I feel like our faith journey, we did it a lot together. You watched me first. You used to be like, even when you were a little boy, I'd be praying and you'd see like healing manifest. So you'd be like, Mom, when you die, can I have your magic book? Like literally. So you'd watch me with my faith walk, but you were always listening. Right?
Yeah.
So I watching you grow with God, and then now I'm like, sometimes I'd be sitting back and you'd be talking to me and I'm like, whoa, oh my gosh, I learned something new today. And that to me is the biggest moment, because you've surpassed me. You know, in your wisdom, in your understanding. And then it inspires me to be like, okay, no, you need to keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fuel your fire even more.
Podcast coming soon.
Yes.
Podcast coming soon.
Yeah, like every dream I've had, I've been like, you know, I watch you like blow through your dreams, and I'm like, oh man, wow, I can do this too. So it's very inspiring. Very, very inspiring.
And I think part of that too is that, you know, like we've always told you guys and that you guys could do whatever you guys want to do. But like we've never ever put a limit
Or a box.
on what you guys could do in life, because with God everything is possible. Like we've seen God take us from 0 to 1,000 many times, you know, and the key thing is to be obedient.
Yeah.
Right? When you're obedient, like, you tap into what God's got for you. You realize don't nobody else got nothing for you.
Right.
That's more important, you know? So
leads me to our next point. So digging more into just faith, how did you see my faith change over time?
Well, it's funny because when we used to go to church, right, we were avid churchgoers. You know, like we never missed a Sunday. Shout out Word of Faith, Toronto. But you know, I mean, even from then, like, how old was he when we started going to that church? Like,
He was super young. I don't remember. I was
6 or
maybe
8?
6 or 8, yeah.
Yeah.
You got baptized, water baptized. Like you asked to
yeah,
be water
you
baptized.
asked to be baptized.
Really young.
But I mean, even
You
from
preached
then.
your first sermon at Granny, my mom's funeral. You like got up there
Yeah.
and we're like, you had a whole sermon written. I was
Right.
like, whoa, maybe we got a preacher.
Yeah.
People used to say, oh man, maybe you're gonna be a preacher, you know, because
We always
the
say we was
word
gonna be a
just
preacher.
came to you. The
Yeah.
word just came to you. And you preached to all of us girls, me and my sisters, when my mom passed. So it was like, yeah, you always had a gift with your words. Right? God
Yeah.
flows.
Absolutely.
I would say for me, your faith is through your consistency and your devotion. I think you always knew of God. In the last few years, you really became acquainted with God, like in an intimate way, and your relationship has
Yeah.
developed
Yeah.
to, like, you know what I mean, like, and your trust has grown in Him. Like, it's no longer I know of you, but now I really know you.
Yeah.
And that's why you hold yourself to a different level, a different standard in terms of your morals, your values, your just the way you move in life. And it comes through consistency. Every day you're in your word. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hear what you got to say to me. If you're gonna make a decision, he's gotta have a way in, right?
Yeah.
If he hasn't given you confirmation to move forward, okay, we're gonna put pause until I get, you know, my 3 scriptures or my 3 whatever, right? And you're very much willing to take the weigh-ins of the people that mean the most. Like our family thing has kind of always been, okay, cool. First, I got this thing I'm more thinking of. If I got to take it to the next level to make sure I got the right answer, okay, guys, this is what I'm dealing with. Can you pray about it? Everybody comes back with their scriptures. Everybody weighs in. And then that's what kind of like shows us, hey, man, there really is a God, because you get something that aligns with what I got, get what your sisters got, what, like, you know, daddy got. And then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, move. Now you got this different level of confidence to move in arenas that are unknown, because it's like Peter walking on water.
Yeah.
You're just, you have to look into the eyes of Jesus.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up soon, but I would say when it comes to, I want to say, your outlook on what I do now, like as a job, and within college coaches and whatnot, like what is your guys' viewpoint on that? Because obviously you guys see me go from the influencer that was focused on posting to get views and all that stuff and transition into something that's, I want to say, deeper, that goes further. Like what do you guys look at that and think?
Well, I feel like as a leader, we constantly have to build ourselves up. Whether it be encouragements, it be values, it be knowledge, and I feel like in your case, you've built yourself up so much with faith, right? And the presence of God in your life, that it had no choice but to come out in your work, to come out in your passion, to position you to pour into other young men, so I just feel like, whatever's on the inside will eventually come out on the outside, so I believe that's the reason why, there's such a presence of God. There's an anointing on your business, there's an anointing on your life, in order to influence and to pour into other people's lives.
Yeah.
I've definitely had the opportunity to sit down and like observe you in your element, and even the men that are brought to you, like it's beautiful, like the collaboration of just faith-filled young people that are like fervently pursuing a relationship with God and wanting him to come in at your age, at like all of your ages, like like that's amazing, wanting God to come in and like be the foundation that they build off of, his principles, his way of doing things. I think it's so beautiful, and just watching you and watching them, and you guys are bouncing things off of each other, and literally iron sharpening iron. I think it's a very beautiful thing. I think it's definitely,
especially at such a young age,
especially at your age, right? I do believe we're walking into a season of revival in your generation, and it's beautiful to see so many young people so on fire, so willing to put away the things that don't serve them, and that acknowledging that like God's way works, and like willing to make those sacrifices. Like, wow, it really is beautiful. And then seeing the manifestation of his glory and being willing to stick with it, and just watching you encourage and pour into, and vice versa, them come back and pour into each other, because I see them do it amongst themselves in the Bible studies. And I think that's it's awesome. Like I love it. It gets me excited because I didn't get to grow up in that. Like we were like the young people in the church, and it's all old people, So now seeing all these young people actively pursuing relationship with God and wanting to share that with others, man, that's like the times are changing for the better in my eyes, right? Yeah. And I think you being, I call it like a forerunner, because I know that there's a lot of people in your industry, but I don't know of anyone in your industry that's necessarily doing what you're doing. I think that it's a beautiful thing, right? And that the focus, as much as it very much is on business, it is fundamentally based on scripture and God's way, right? Amen. Kingdom practices. Because as much as people like to separate faith from finances or faith from any other area of your life, other than, you know what I mean, your personal morals and whatever. Like, nah, it's literally the foundation in which you build everything on and you operate everything through. So when I sit back and I watch your YouTube videos, or I see you in your element working with the guys, or, you know, whoever I know that's in your circle that's I've had the opportunity of sharing time with, man, it is just fascinating. It's beautiful to me. It's so amazing to me. It's like it's got to be God, because wow.
No,
That's
but
like they
explain
can't even
it.
got a word. Like, you don't even got a word for it. It's like, wow, you
I
know?
know.
Yeah. And even the transformation in them coming up in being willing to change or take conviction, be like, yeah, you know what, yours were like, yeah, definitely gotta do more of this or do less of this, or, you know? It's beautiful.
Thank you. I owe it all to God at the end of the day. You guys already know that. Let's say there's someone watching this and they're showing up every day, they're walking in obedience, they're staying disciplined, and you know, they're not seeing the results of it. You know? What would you have to say to that individual that is, I want to say, disciplined, that is showing up, that knows that he's called to do more, to be more, but right now it's just not clear. You know, the vision's sort of just a concept, it's an idea, but it's something that he doesn't really have conviction in. What would you tell him?
I would say stay disciplined in your faith with God, because having faith, if somebody told you that it was easy, they are lying to you. Okay? Having faith is work, you know, and, you know, a part of having faith is to have that steadfast faith, that type of faith that does not stop, you know. So just be disciplined in your faith and be disciplined in your walk with God, because God's time isn't like our time. Okay? Because our time, we think things will gradually happen. God's time, you can wake up tomorrow and things can be different for you. Right? So just be disciplined in your faith.
Mom?
For young men or even young women out there that don't necessarily have, you know, other people pouring faith into them, they feel like absolutely alone in their walk with God. I know when I started out, I felt like there wasn't really any baseline. I just had to jump in and try to discover him by myself. God is faithful to his faithful. So if you continue to just walk in what you know he's speaking to you to do, meaning like get in alignment with his word, do the things that it says to do, stop doing the things that you shouldn't be doing, give it your all, every single day, show up, never quit, just keep going, fight the good fight of faith, never cease, because usually right when you want to quit the most is when you're at the threshold of something major happening or some transformative moment, right? So keep pressing through and trust and believe in him. Get acquainted with who God is, because the more you know him is the more you understand why he does things the way he does them, and the more your confidence builds that he will come through and show up at the exact right moment in the right way. You might not understand every step, you know, you might not understand every turn that you've got to take or why, the whys of things, but just pursue him, fill yourself with his word, get surrounded by like-minded individuals or people that are where you want to be, right? And just trust that he's going to come through, because one day it's going to happen. I do believe you got to where you are because you never quit. There was no plan B. There was only one plan A. God, your will be done in my life. And if you wake up every morning and you say, God, your will be done in my life, confession is powerful.
Yeah.
Believing to receive is important, but second to that, your words have to align with what you believe and what you receive. to access it. So speak those things which be not as though they were. Call them into existence, believe it, trust him, get acquainted with him, and the rest is history.
Access.
Access granted.
Yeah. I guess I'll just finish off the video by saying thank you for everything. It's been, I'm just so grateful to have just parents like you guys. I feel like oftentimes I'm not the best at showing how appreciative I am because I'm so caught up in the idea that, I'm not where I believe I could be yet. Always striving for more, to do more, and it keeps my mind busy. But Dad, I remember, being at that apartment, 7 to Don Way, like you out working every single day, coming home late nights, you know what I'm saying? Doing the work that no one seen or you didn't even talk about when you came home, but just showing up every single day because you had a family that you had to provide for, and you had Deja when you were young, you know what I'm saying? You had me when you were young, and there's a lot of men out there that, you didn't have a dad growing up, you know what I'm saying? That was there for you, right? So it's like, I'm so grateful for just you being there, and it's the reason why I go hard. It is the reason why I'm disciplined, and I owe it all to you straight up. You're the reason why I'm disciplined. You're the reason why I show up and do what I do, and don't complain, but just
do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do, right? And it's definitely because you set a great example for me growing up, and making sure that the roof was always over our head, and a lot of the stuff I don't know that you've done till this day, and it will just stay that way because you did
talk
it.
About it.
You did it. Yeah.
It's not important. The important part is that, and the part that really counts is to see you doing your thing, and your sisters doing their thing and being successful at what they do, and just being able to provide, the type of life that I didn't have, and essentially that's why I go hard. That's why we go hard, right? So God is good, man. God is good.
And Mom, even when I was little, you always showed me that I can do whatever I put my mind to. And you made me dream bigger, you made me think bigger, you made me believe for more and stretch my faith. And you instilled that in me since I was young, And I'm just so appreciative that you guys bet on me, There's a lot of people that don't have that can't say the same about their parents. And I'll never forget the time I called you in Miami when I hit the first 10K day. I was thinking back to the time where I was in Greenland and I was in grade 5 or whatever. I had track and field, and I needed shoes because I had holes in my blue Nike trainers that I would just wear every single day. And you took me to the mall that day, and I found a pair of shoes, and of course it's the most expensive Nike Flyknit shoes, and I just loved them. And obviously at the time, you guys did so good at just providing and doing as much as you can that I like money wasn't really a thought in my mind, I just liked the shoes and I picked them up, and they happened to be the most expensive shoes. And like, shoot, it's probably everything you got. And you bought the shoes for me, and I went and I ran, and I went far in track, but when I hit that first 10K day, when I called you, those were the thoughts that were going through my mind. I'm like, yo, thank God for just giving me parents that genuinely believe in me, And when I do what I do, and I show up for what I feel called to do, it's because you guys instilled those attributes, those characteristics in me, right? That drive to make the most out of this opportunity that God's blessed you with. And I guess I just wanted to say thank you for that, because it's really shaped me into the man that I am today. And I feel like I don't say thank you enough. I sort of just count on my achievements to do that, but I shouldn't. I should just vocalize that, and I love you and I appreciate you guys very, very much.
You show me thank you in so many ways. You pour into me and us so much, and I'm so grateful. And I thank you. You literally taught me how to take the ceiling off of my faith. I've always had faith, or I try to grow it. But in terms of myself, I remember you did this run once and you let me come.
Mm-hmm.
It was just before things started to take off. You tested, you literally, like, horrendous weather.
It was a solo marathon.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Solo mission, crazy run. And I'm like, you're not doing this alone. I'm going to stay in the car because it was freezing.
Let me give them some more context. Yeah.
How many kilometers was that?
I was a lot.
It was a solo marathon, so it was 42 kilometers. But yeah, no
cold
prep,
Canada.
no nothing. But I just felt like the devil had me in a place where my flesh was really, in control, and I just wanted to break that by doing something hard. I've never ran a marathon in my life. Never even ran half a marathon, and literally the night prior, I was just like, yo, 3 a.m. comes, I'm running a marathon by myself, like solo. So 42 kilometers. I started the run at 3 a.m. and then, that makes me want to cry.
It makes me want to cry because I was there and I'm literally in the car praying in tongues because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And but
Y'all came back. I was like, you ran where? I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, let me Google how far this was.
you literally
Right?
taught
Yeah,
me
that was crazy.
The mind is such a powerful thing. It literally is in control of this flesh. Like, and if you put your faith to something, you believe you can do something, you can accomplish it. You can. And I watched you do it that day. And people might take that as like, but no, it was like, like I said, I was there. I know the car packed with clothes in case he needed to change because he's wet, sweating, running. Didn't stop. Got to where he was going, turned around, ran all the way back. No stopping. No stopping. And it's just like, wow, you really broke off every limitation, every glass ceiling that was on your life or mine. Because I'm like, if he could do it, I could do it. Listen, like, I'm not going to lie to you, fasting, I think, is powerful. And prayer is powerful. And whenever you find yourself in moments like that, break your flesh. Like, that was a perfect example of breaking your flesh.
Absolutely.
Like, no, I can do it. And then, boom, you were like, after that, it was, boom, Miami to Bali to LA to San Francisco to, like, Miami again to, like, just constant, like, just exponential growth. Right?
Yeah.
But that came from your discipline. That came from removing all limitations, like limitless thinking, like no limitations, and just crucifying your flesh.
That's funny because none of that was ever documented.
No, I wish that I did, but I'm not good with the camera like
Well,
y'all.
but you know
I
what
just
the
be
thi-
like,
well-
I'll just be trying to pray and talk to Jesus, get him through this thing safely.
The reason why I said that was just because, like, people only see what they see.
They see the glory.
They don't
get to
see
the glory.
they
side
don't
of
see the stuff that leads
the
up
grit.
to having all of this, right? So it's just a matter of just discipline, in everything you do, So it's important.
I remember about that. I made sure I didn't want to. I made sure not to tell anyone. I don't even think I told you until I was done.
Nah.
You didn't even
That's-
want to tell me. I saw it. I was like, he's going somewhere. He's going to do something. And then you told me. You said, don't tell anybody. I said, I'm not telling anybody, but I'm coming.
Yeah, I just only knew
And
until
I
like
just followed behind
after.
in the
So
car.
I was just like, yo, you ran where?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
20
it was. Yeah.
20-minute drive.
It was something I wanted to just literally keep
so
in between me and God, and just like really do it for the sake of His will be done in my life,
So
But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for coming on and sharing your wisdom with them. One thing I will say to whoever's watching that has a calling on their life, and everyone has a calling on their life, but you're sitting in a position where you have this burning anxiety inside, for one, I'll tell you that the Lord does not give you the spirit of fear, but you know you can be doing more. You know that there's something out there that is meant for you. There's impact out there that God wants you to have, and He can't use you unless you're willing to put your flesh to rest. So regardless of how hard the discipline hurts or how much you have to put up with outside opinions or whatever the case is, just let His will be done in your life. And I promise you that comes with the blessings. It comes with more than you can even imagine. So just keep going, and yeah, God's got you. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, any last things you want to say?
No, we love you all. God loves you. Fight the good fight of faith. You got this.
Amen.
Amen.
Your potential is limitless.
Amen.